Hello and welcome everyone. It's Shanna. I'm so glad you're here. Now today we are back again with our musical instrument series, and we are going to use the violin out of this set today. And I will link all the materials in the description box below so you can check them out. We're also going to use this birthday sentiment better press plate, and we've got our 3D embossing folder musical notes, and we're just going to get to making a card. So I think this is the, I don't know, third or fourth video in this series so far. I think maybe the fourth. And we are going to use this better press and to get some birthday sentiments for our card. It actually has more than birthday sentiments. I'll tell you what all's on there. Happy birthday, celebrating you. Happy belated birthday. Cheers to another year. It's your special day. Age to perfection from all of us to a very special person, and happy birthday wishes. Now, my scrap piece of cardstock I've got there is not big enough to capture all of them. So the three on the bottom I'm not going to get, but I'm going to get the other ones, and believe me, I'll save them so that I have them to use. For this particular card, we're going to use to a very special person and put it on there. I'm just showing you that it's the die is too big for the scrap that I've got there, and I didn't have a full sheet of that, or I would have brought it in. I'm getting kind of low on my Spellbinders cardstock of this particular tone because I've been using a lot of it on my cards. I don't know, I've just been filling it lately. So I'm just going to get this pressed, and I'll press it twice. It's not cotton cardstock, it's just the regular Spellbinders cardstock. So I wanted to give it a good press, and so I just ran 2 passes through. And you can see I got most of the sentiments. I got part of one that was on the bottom, and then the bottom 2 didn't press at all, which is no big deal. So I'm going to bring in the die for this, and we'll get it die cut out, and then we'll have several sentiments that we can use. And then for this, I'm just going to grab actually my Empress plates and just die cut it out instead of bringing the Platinum 6 back in. I've set it on the cabinet over there, and it's heavy, and I just have this beside me, so we'll use it. And it's got a magnetic plate on there to hold it down, and that kind of helps with lining it up. I will go ahead and put a piece of tape on there just to make sure I don't bump it and shift it when I go to die cut it out. But with the magnetic plate on this, you can really line these up better and kind of get a better cut because they don't move around, and then I can add the tape in case I bump it, and then I'll get them die cut out. I'm just checking each one because they're, sideways and then up and down, just making sure I've got a good edge around all of them. And then I'm just going to bring in some tape and just slap that down there, and then we'll just run this through real quick, and we will have, I don't know, 6 sentiments, I think, that actually die cut out nicely, and we'll pitch one of them that doesn't. I know I've said this on my channel before, but I love that Spellbinders is doing this with a sentiment so that you can just press, one pressing and do one die cutting, and you've got several sentiments. I love that. That is so great for, when you're batch processing or making a whole bunch of cards. It really works out nice for that. So I've got my card base and I've got my panels. You can see I've gutted this one, and we're going to layer these up, and I have most of my elements here that we're going to build our card with. I've also done some die cutting with the Christmas die cutting set, and we're going to add some leafy elements to it. It's not going to be Christmassy, but we're using a Christmas die set. I will link it in the description box below. Can't remember exactly what it's named at the moment. And then my card base is a little off, so I'll bring my trimmer in and we'll just get it trimmed down and move right along. And it looks like I need to clean that trimmer. I was inking those musical notes up with the previous card, and I got some ink on there, and I can see that it got on my panel there, but it's not going to matter because we're going to cover most of that up anyway with our musical notes 3D embossed panel. I've really had some fun playing with this set, used some different colors and some different techniques, and it's really been fun. That if you didn't catch the interactive musical instrument card, you'll need to check that out. That one is super fun, where you've got a fun element on the inside of the card that is interactive. I'll try to link it in the box here so that you can check it out. And then we're just going to layer up these panels, and then we can begin building our scene and adding our violin to it. We'll just lay it down on this vellum. And then we'll bring in some foam tape for the back of it to pop it up and give it a little bit of dimension. And I've just used varying tones of this similar paper. I think this all matches nicely, and you know, we go, you know, we've just got some darker and some lighter shades in the similar family, and I think it layers up nicely. I'm going to bring in the same colors for my little wreathy or swag element and just kind of keep it pretty much all the same tone. So we'll get this laid down on there. And then I'm going to bring in all my bits and pieces and we'll get to assembling. So this little tray here has all the elements to the mini instruments in it. And I've got the neck of the violin here, but there is a decorative piece at the bottom, and then there is a piece that covers up the back. Here, I'm grabbing the sheet to show you. So we've got, you know, the neck, you've got the bow, you've got a back piece. There's some etched detail on the violin that if you put this back piece behind it, it'll show through it. And so here's the little decorative piece that goes on the bottom of the violin. And then there is a back piece that will go on the back side of it to just cover up the etching or the cuts that are made, the decorative area on the violin. So it's going to go like this. And then this little piece is going to go right here. Just kind of dry fitting it. And then this piece here is what goes on the back. It almost looks like a hat, but it goes on the back of the violin. And I'm looking for the bow. I can see it here on the camera, but when I was trying to find it, it was turned upside down and I couldn't find it. And then I'm like, oh, there it is. I was having a panic attack for a minute because I used that same metallic cardstock that I did the violin in, and I wanted it to match, and I knew I didn't have any more of it. I was like, oh, if I've lost that. And here I put the glue in the center, and then I off-centered it when I laid it down. So I've got some glue seeping out on the front, and I'm going to have to clean it up. I'll bring in I've actually got a wet paper towel that I had just cleaned my glass mat off with. A little bit of Windex on there, and I'm just going to wipe that mirrored cardstock off, and it'll come clean. And you'll see me use that paper towel throughout as I'm trying to keep the glue under control. So I'm going to take the neck of the violin and get it laid down on. And I'm using the edge of that to kind of smooth that glue out, just to kind of keep it from seeping, just spreading it out better. And that way it won't seep all over that metallic cardstock, trying to clean it up with my fingers a little bit. Just trying to keep it neat. When you're working with that metallic cardstock, you can really get it messy with the glue, so trying to be careful to not do that. And now we'll grab that next piece and we'll just get it laid down on there. It's just a decorative element. Almost looks like a chicken leg or a ham bone or something. And I'll get it lined up on there. There is a dot on the bottom of that violin that matches up with a dot on the neck, and then you're going to lay this kind of over the top of it, and then just right around the edge of the bottom. It'll follow the curve of it. And now we have got a shiny little violin. Cleaning off some more glue there. Isn't that pretty? I like the metallic cardstock with it. I think it really makes it look elegant, very elegant. And so that's what we're going for on this card, is more of an elegant card. We're not bringing in the staff or the clefs or the notes or anything like that. We're just going to bring in these leafy elements here, and we're just going to create like a... First I start to think I'm going to do a wreath and put the violin in the center of it, but then I kind of, once I get it all assembled and everything, I kind of go with a swag rather than a wreath and just kind of fill in the corners of it. And I don't even go in this direction. I wind up changing it completely. I actually go in the other corner, I believe. we'll cluster them all up. Now here I've got all the little circle bits that, this is like a berry vine, like probably hollyberry, I don't know. It's because it's part of a Christmas set. And I'm just going to put a bunch of glue dots where the berries go. There's like a spots on these for each of the berries, and I'm looking for my pick tool. And if it was a snake, it would bite me. I think it's laying right somewhere beside me. There we go. So we'll use this to pick up the little bits and assemble them on our little leaves. And I'll just speed this up. It takes a minute. And there we go. We've got those finished up, and now we're ready to add them to our panels. And I'll fool around with them a little bit, and then I'll figure out what I want to do with it. You know, you could do lots of different things. And as I'm laying here, or as I'm sitting here watching me lay these down on here, I'm thinking, oh, I could have, you know, I could have done that, or this looked good, or whatever. But I wind up kind of swagging them from the top down, just kind of creating a cluster coming from the top down, leaving a area there at the bottom to where I can fit my violin and my bow in, and then just have a nice little clear space where we can lay that down. And so this is kind of the direction that I'm going in, and we will put the bow underneath it. So we'll get our glue. We've got our sentiments. We're going to bring one of those in as well, and we're just going to get these glued down on here, and I think it'll be pretty. It's very much tone-on-tone card. Now, you know, I've been kind of speed videoing, trying to get prepared for a upcoming vacation so that my channel's loaded. And so, I don't know, this is probably the third video I've done today. So I'm just trying to really get my channel filled up so that I feel like I can relax on vacation and not feel like I've, you know, don't have any gaps in videos. So I'm just trying to fill it. And thankfully, we've got lots of little bits and pieces that go with this particular collection. And so I can make several videos out of it and really have some fun. I really enjoyed working with this set. It's really a fun collection. So we'll get some glue laid down on this last leaf, and then we'll be able to get our violin in and the bow, and we'll add our sentiment, and this card will come together. Just wiping up, cleaning up glue. We've got some glue gunked up there, so I'm just trying to clean it up, make my card look nice. And I'm just going to get my little violin and my little bow, and we'll get it glued up and laid down on here. This is kind of the direction I'm going to go, like that with it. So I'll try to put some real fine lines of glue on this bow because it's pretty thin, and we'll try to spread it out a little bit so we don't make a mess. Get it laid down on there. Then we're going to pop up the violin and let it just lay over the bow. And I've got this foam tape. It's pretty wide. I'm going to have to cut it down and make a real narrow piece for the neck of the violin. And that way it won't get bent when it goes into an envelope. Just checking to make sure it's not going to show when I get it laid down on there. I need to trim some of this off. And I think it's going to be good and sturdy. So we'll get it laid down on our beautiful card. I think it's really lovely. Very pretty card. And I'm going to clean up some glue off of my violin, and we're going to bring a sentiment in. I believe, yeah, we used to a very special person. We're going to get it laid down on our floral elements there. And then we will bring in some embellishments, and that'll pretty much finish off our card. So I'm just going to tuck it down on there. I think it looks really pretty. And then I was going looking for some embellishments that would work with this. And I found some that were very close to the tone of the darker paper, and I thought they would pop off of this lighter cardstock there. And so I'm just going to bring 3 of those, the tiniest ones. I like using the tiny ones. And I'm just going to bring them in and lay them down on our card, and we'll have just a little embellishment there. And I think it finishes off nicely. So let me know what you think. I think it turned out nice. Very fun. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye now.